Hi again, it's Deb James, the Wellness RN for you, and we are continuing our discussion on dementia care. Practical tips and guidance. So, this time we're going to talk about when do you take the keys away from your loved one with dementia? That is a huge issue. Being able to drive means a certain level of independence. And it's important for everyone to feel that they have that independence. And it is something that you may think you have under control, but you don't. For example, a few years ago, I was visiting my husband's family. It was New Year's Eve, about maybe about 6 o'clock West Coast time. And my brother called me from my parents' house, and he said, "They're here and the car's not here. What do I do?" Now, I wasn't completely taken by surprise because, to be honest, we had put video cameras in the home to monitor them. We only had them in 2 locations, but earlier that day, I noticed that the door where one camera was located was closed, and it looked like something had been draped over the other camera, like a washcloth, towel, something. Yeah, I knew something was up. So I told my brother, I said, "Well, if you're that concerned, you can call the police and put out a silver alert." And his response was, "Well, I don't want him arrested for driving his own car." I said, "Well, that's not what's going to happen. When you put out a silver alert on a loved one, it means that it is an elder who is driving and may be in some type of distress or may be having some issues, such as dementia. And all it means is that the police look out for that vehicle. And if they see the vehicle, they stop the vehicle and inquire as to the person's well-being." So they're not arrested, nothing like that. But it is a way to locate someone who could be in a dangerous situation. Now, with my dad, we decided that he probably shouldn't be driving when he called from a gas station and said he couldn't figure out how to put gas in the car. That was a sign. Another time, he drove himself apparently to an urgent care, and my brother got a call from the nurse at urgent care saying that he was there and what was going on because he seemed to be a bit confused. So based on those 2 things, my brother he took my father's keys, car keys. My mother didn't drive anymore, so that wasn't an issue. And they eventually got back home. It was about 2 extra hours later, and my brother asked, what was going on. And my father said that he was tired of being treated like a child and he wanted to go somewhere, and he went. Now, whether or not he went where they claimed they went, I don't know. But my mother's response was, "Oh, I didn't know anything about the cameras. No, I didn't know anything about that. But I saw that he was going to drive, so I thought I should go with him." just in case. Yeah, exactly. My father, however, was very adamant. He's like, yeah, I did it. I did it because I'm tired of being spied on. I'm tired of being treated like a child, and I wanted to go somewhere. So I found my keys and I went. So from that point on, I told my brother, don't even try to hide keys. These were a set that he apparently had squirreled away somewhere that we didn't know anything about, and obviously he had forgotten about. But all I did when I talked to my father was I said, look, I know you don't drive at night because that's bothersome for you. All I ask is that you call me before you're going somewhere and then call me when you get back home so that I don't worry. And he did a few times. So, what to look for when deciding to take the keys away from your loved one with dementia? You're going to get anger. You're going to get righteous indignation. That's going to happen, and rightly so. Even though they may be aware that they're having issues with dementia, they may not understand the extent of what can go wrong. What can go wrong is, number one, they can get in an accident. And it can be devastating for them and their families, or for the person in the other vehicle in their families. And don't be surprised at what response you get when you offer that possibility. You might be surprised at the response you get. We definitely were. But when you are noticing that the loved one is having difficulty driving at night, or they don't like driving at night, if they limit where they go to in terms of they're only going places that they know how to get there, they know how to get back. If they become very anxious when driving, those are all good signs that maybe it's time to have that discussion. If the other parent or the other person with the loved one, living with the loved one, is able to drive, great. That's fantastic. Otherwise, you have to look at alternatives. One alternative, of course, is Carva service, either Uber or Lyft or something like that. I don't know if you can get on some kind of plan for them so that you're paying a discount rate, but that is a possibility. You can also look at local agencies, because some aged care agencies will provide transportation. Fortunately, where my parents were living, they were kind of out in the boonies, so yeah, that wasn't going to happen. They were lucky that a bus came through their development, but again, that was not very often. So that's an option. Yeah, public transportation, it might work. It could if they're not going too far. But again, you have the possibility of they can get on the wrong train. So you still have that issue. Another possibility is getting a friend or a family member to provide transportation for them. And it doesn't have to be all the time. It can just be when, when they have doctor's appointments or something like that. What we ended up doing was we hired a caregiver for 4 hours during the day. He could adjust his schedule accordingly if they had doctor's appointments earlier than the times that he normally worked. But we had him coming 3 times a week. So we would try to make sure that any appointments were scheduled on those 3 days. And we also let him know that, if they just wanted to go to the grocery store or whatever, that was fine. But he had to drive. Initially, he was driving my parents' car, and then he started driving his own vehicle to take them out. And the reason for that is, well, there's multiple reasons, but the main reason is safety issues in terms of legality. If there's an accident and the person driving is not on the registered car's insurance, that can be a problem. That can be a problem for the driver, and that can be a problem for the owner of the vehicle because, insurance may not pay for it. The person that we hired was very well vetted, had met some critical checklists for us in terms of, his trustworthiness. And he got along well with my parents. At first, my father hated it, of course. But then when he realized that he could sit in the back and listen to music, take a nap, not have to listen to my mother's incessant chatter, it got easier with time. And it helped a lot transitioning further along with the disease process. So it's a conversation you're going to have no matter what, unless they don't drive now. If that's the case, you're in good shape. Just have to worry about public transportation. But you need to have that conversation, and it needs to be a conversation of equals. You can't talk to them like they're the child, you're the parent. That's not going to fly. I'm sure when you were growing up, you didn't like it when your parents said you couldn't borrow the car to go somewhere. So you have to do it on a equal level. You have to speak person to person, adult to adult. That will make it a little bit easier. Also, play up the benefits of someone else driving for that loved one. Like I said, once my father realized that he could just sit in the back and take a nap or listen to music, he was on board with it. He was okay because he was comfortable. He realized, this is an advantage. And that was one of the things we talked to him about. We said, look at it having your own private chauffeur. Granted, it's only on certain days, but still, you have someone to take you wherever you need to go or wherever you want to go. So remind them of that. Remind them that what you're doing is for their safety. That's key. You just really got to get it across to them and in your own head that it's a safety issue. It's not about independence. It's not about control. It really isn't. It's about safety. And that's what you have to convey to that loved one. And again, there are options. You can do car service. You can do someone providing transportation. You can look at community transportation. And, there are ways to do it. There are ways to do it and make it work. So just be patient, be gentle. Remember that, your parents or your elders have a lot of pride too. And that's one thing you definitely don't want to take away from them. Right? Okay. Please check out my YouTube channel. And currently it is Wellness for All, but we're going through a name change. So keep that in mind. The front runner right now is Practical Dementia Care. So please like this video, comment on it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if any of the information I'm providing is helpful to you. Let me know if there's anything specifically you want me to discuss. You can also check out my website, www.angelictouchhealthandwellness.net. You can contact me via email or cell phone. That information you can find on my website. So, have a good day, have a good week, have a good life. Be kind, be gentle with others and yourself, and stay hopeful. All right, bye.